The movie begins with Levon Cade waking up in his car before heading off to his job. He arrives at Garcia's construction site, where one of his co-workers warmly offers him some food. Levon proceeds to gather the workers and informs them about the tasks scheduled for the day. Afterward, he heads into the office to meet with the Garcias. Inside the office, Jenny Garcia hands Levon a few billing documents. Shortly afterward, Jenny asks her father for a considerable amount of money to help complete her semester at college, hoping to celebrate the occasion afterward. Joe initially hesitates, considering the large sum, but ultimately agrees and provides her with the requested money. Meanwhile, Levon notices a group of Mafia members entering the construction area and aggressively intimidating one of the workers. Without any hesitation, Levon intervenes swiftly, overpowering the assailants and forcing them to leave. Jenny, having witnessed the incident, asks him if he has a military background. Levon deflects her question and advises her not to mention it to anyone. Intrigued, Jenny then requests Levon to teach her self-defense skills, mentioning her grandfather once taught her how to break someone's finger. Before leaving, Jenny offers Levon some food as a gesture of appreciation. Later in the day, Levon visits his daughter, Mary, at her grandparents' home. As soon as Mary spots her father, she eagerly rushes out and jumps into his car. Levon briefly talks with his father-in-law, who currently holds custody of Mary. Levon then takes Mary out for dinner, presenting her with a special gift, a photograph of Mary with her late mother. Upon seeing the picture, Mary becomes deeply emotional, expressing both anger and sadness toward her mother for leaving them, clearly struggling to cope with her absence. Afterward, Levon consults his lawyer regarding his ongoing custody battle. The lawyer informs Levon that the situation is worsening and questions why his father-in-law harbors such strong resentment toward him. Levon explains that his father-in-law blames him unjustly for his wife's death, despite her severe depression, while Levon was deployed with the military. Despite these hardships, Levon remains determined to regain custody and hands over the money he has saved to continue fighting the legal battle. To further his case, he even rents a proper home to ensure his daughter's happiness and stability. That evening, Jenny and her friends gather for a party at a clubhouse. A bartender notices Jenny and quietly informs a Mafia member named Viper about her presence. Shortly afterward, one of Jenny's friends suddenly feels ill and rushes off to the restroom, leaving Jenny alone. At this moment, Jenny is swiftly abducted by a group of kidnappers. The next day at work, Levon sees police officers exiting Joe's office. Joe and his wife quickly approach Levon, panicked, telling him Jenny is missing. They desperately plead for his help, but Levon initially refuses, explaining he has left his violent past behind. Joe offers Levon $50,000, and although he initially remains firm in his decision, Levon eventually accepts the money and visits an old friend. That night, Levon visits Gunny, his former comrade from their military days. Levon explains Jenny's situation to Gunny and announces his decision to help find her. It is revealed Levon once saved Gunny's life during a mission, leaving Gunny permanently blind. Gunny emphasizes the importance of Levon's involvement for Jenny's family. Determined to find Jenny, Levon reassures Joe he will bring his daughter back safely. Levon immediately begins his investigation at the bar where Jenny was last seen. Searching a nearby alley, Levon discovers a fragment of Jenny's necklace, confirming the location of her abduction. Following a lead, Levon confronts a bartender at his home regarding Jenny's disappearance. Initially, the bartender denies knowing anything, but Levon senses deception and applies pressure. Just as the bartender begins to talk, several associates arrive unexpectedly. Levon swiftly eliminates everyone in the room, confirming afterward their Mafia connections. He takes some cash from the scene to use as bribe money for further information. The following day, Mafia members and Wolo discover the aftermath of Levon's confrontation at the bartender's home. Realizing someone is actively targeting them, they quickly clean up the area and leave, unaware Levon is closely observing them. Levon tracks the gang to a safe house, carefully scouting before infiltrating. He swiftly subdues Wolo, tying him securely. When Wolo regains consciousness, he warns Levon he's making a serious mistake. Levon throws the previously stolen cash, demanding details on Jenny's whereabouts. When Wolo refuses to talk, Levon kills him by throwing him, strapped to a chair, into water. Further investigation reveals Dimmy, Wolo's son, as the mastermind behind Jenny's kidnapping. Levon quickly sets out to find Dimmy. Shortly afterward, Mafia leader Yuri discovers Wolo's body. Recognizing Dimmy's incompetence, Yuri orders his men to hunt down the responsible individual. Levon contacts a friend within the police for information on Dimmy. His friend warns Levon that Dimmy is highly dangerous, providing an address linked to organized crime. That evening, Levon visits this bar. Security notices him, and Doogie, seeing Levon has a significant amount of money, introduces him to Dutch. Patrons suspect Levon might be an undercover officer and attack him. Levon quickly neutralizes them. Dutch intervenes before Levon kills one man, realizing Levon's military experience, and proposes a negotiation. Levon pretends to be interested in buying drugs, and Dutch arranges the deal. The next day, Dutch delivers the drugs and sets up a meeting with the Mafia's primary dealer. Levon meets Dimmy, who tests Levon's authenticity. Once convinced, Dimmy hands Levon the drugs, which Levon discards immediately. Levon recognizes Viper, one of Jenny's kidnappers, prompting him to begin spying on the gang. However, a security guard notices Levon watching and discreetly calls for backup. Levon tries escaping on a motorcycle but is captured by Yuri's men after an intense chase. During transport, Levon seizes an opportunity, killing his captors, commandeering the vehicle, and disposing of it in water to destroy evidence before escaping. Yuri becomes furious upon discovering his dead men and gathers the Mafia to confront Dimmy, revealing Levon killed Wolo and warning Dimmy that he might be next. The next day, while picking Mary up from school, Levon senses danger and learns his father-in-law is at risk. Levon rushes to the house, finding it engulfed in flames, and bravely rescues his father-in-law. Aware Mary might be targeted, Levon takes her to Gunny's place for safety, preparing himself for confrontation. Meanwhile, Jenny briefly escapes Viper and Artemis, but mistakenly seeks help from a corrupt officer who returns her to her captors. Viper arranges for Jenny to meet a wealthy client. Levon confronts Dimmy, exchanging his life for crucial details on Jenny's location and Viper's involvement. Levon kills Dimmy and moves toward his next target. Dutch discovers Levon is infiltrating their operations, alerting the gang. Levon swiftly eliminates everyone at the safe house, including Dutch. Jenny bravely fights Artemis, killing him. Levon finds and rescues her. As they escape, 2 remaining gang members ambush them, and Levon uses a grenade to eliminate the threat. Finally safe, Levon reunites Jenny with her grateful parents. In the final scene, Levon, Mary, and Gunny's family share a peaceful lunch, finding happiness at last after overcoming significant hardships.